Today I would like to talk about the coronavirus or COVID-19, that we have in my mind, a pandemic happening right now. First, why do we need to take this virus seriously? Well, it's a new virus. That means that no one is immune and it's spreading very fast. It's one of the fastest spreading viruses we have seen. This, in simple terms, means that in a couple of months, maybe 2/3 of the world's population will get infected before it slows down. All these viruses, they spread with an S-curve. We haven't seen anything like this virus since the Spanish flu of 1918. That was a major disaster for humanity when that happened. And this one will be similar, as it is looking now by the numbers. The most positive numbers we have is that just above 2% of those that get infected die. But let's do the numbers properly. If 2/3 get the virus, that's round figures 6 billion people. 2% of 6 billion is 120 million people. Let's take the statistics to pieces a bit and talk about those that get seriously sick and the 4 different stages that society will go through. So, what is this confirmed? Well, it's not a very good measurement, but it's one of the better we have at the moment. These are the ones that have been tested and we know that they have the virus in the body. The problem with that is that we are suspecting that this virus is very different from Ebola, where everyone, or almost everyone that got the virus, also got critically ill. So if you get seriously sick, what are the 4 stages? Well, in the beginning of a pandemic like this, the hospitals are still working. If you get sick, there's still a chance that you can get an emergency bed and doctors and nurses enough to keep you alive. During the second phase, the hospitals are overfull. And if you get seriously sick, you'll have to be sick at home with no machines and no doctors. Obviously, more people will die. The third phase we haven't seen yet, and hopefully we don't. The third phase, you get sick at home and society around you does not work in full, or maybe not at all. This means you can't get food sent to your home because you will be too weak to go and buy, and the shops might be empty. This means that many electricians are sick or afraid to go to work, so that your house or apartment might not have electricity. It means that there are not enough water workers to make sure that you have water, running water in your house. And finally, the service that we need, the sewage might stop. You might not be able to flush your toilet. In that sort of situation, it is not easy to survive, even if you have family members helping you. The final phase, phase number 4, is when you die from society crashing. So you survive, but you die afterwards because you starve or freeze, or you can't get other necessary medications. So what can you do if you're risking getting sick at home? One of them is fever control. Our own immune system is not perfect, and we can get so high fever. The immune system itself is what causes the fever. It's one of its mechanisms to fight viruses. It's not the virus that gives you fever, it's your immune system. And you can hold that back with very simple medication that you can get in the pharmacy today, like aspirin and paracetamol. The amount you need is around 1,000 milligrams per day, and you're risking having high fever for 30 days. These are the best numbers I have found. So that's quite a lot of headache pills, but it's good to have at home. The second thing you need is electrolytes. This means water that contains necessary salts for you to survive. The 2 easiest ones to find is coconut water and beer. You also need to have at home things that will run out in the shops, like toilet paper and food that is easy to cook. All of this is easy to get at the moment. If you wait until there is a panic, the stores will be empty. Go and buy it now. So what is containment and how does that affect you? Well, there are basically 3 levels of containment. One is on a country level. This is basically one country not trusting another one and closing its border. We see plenty of these border closings already, and they will come up again when both those countries consider each other not a source of infection. The second one is citywide, and you're not allowed to go in, and you can't go out, obviously. This is why they do the containment, because you might have the infection. The third one is containment at home or a quarantine center. This is personal containment, and we see a lot of that happening now in China, where they're good at that sort of thing. In Hubei, there are people now that have been quarantined for over 6 weeks. And for many of them, there's no end in sight. And many families in Wuhan are not only told that they have to stay at home or face consequences, they're also told that they can only send one person out every 3rd day to get supplies. So what do you need to think about? Well, you need to be at the right place, and that otherwise it can be quite dramatic for you if you're in the wrong country. The tests that we have today, if they can't do the test because so many people are already in the country needing tests, they will just tell you to stay where you are. So be in the right country and be in the right city and have your home ready for this. So as long as society works, you will be given food. Otherwise you need to stock up on even more food than I recommended for the being sick at home. It's another thing you need to think about. If you get stuck where you can't work, your employer might not be able to pay you. So that's another thing you can do. Keep cash at home or with you if you have to travel. For the actual first wave of this virus, which is likely to take something like 4 to 6 months, I've covered what you need to do and think about, but you need to think about what comes after as well. If this hits your country, your city extra hard, things might be difficult afterwards. There might be lack of food or even no food. There might be lack of medicine, more specifically the medicines you might need. There might be lack of water and electricity. How long it will take for society to get back and supply medicines, this has to do with quickly we can get the medicine factories to start working again. Another preparation you should be doing is if you're one of those that can work from home, it's a good thing to prepare for that. It's pretty irritating to not be able to leave your house, and it's pretty irritating not to be paid because you can't get to work. So prepare for that. In conclusion, you need to take this pandemic very seriously. It's not that big a risk that you personally will die, but someone you know and care about likely will. But it is highly likely to be the most uncomfortable and scary experience you have gone through. So get ready now and try to keep your spirits high and be safe.